We are Rude Boys Radio. I am Tony Gaglione.
I am Ethan Gettemeyer.
What you were hearing there is Lagwagon, one of our faves, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially that song. What's your brewski, broski?
I got a Coors. What you got, broski?
Let's see. Can you see? No. Yeah, kind of.
Corona.
Corona.
Cheers.
But it blocked off everything. Cheers, mate. I'm glad that you blocked your face like I blocked. So, we've missed a few days. One, because a lot of work for people. I mean, we're human beings. We don't have every day off. And two, Ethan made his way to Texas for opening day.
I did. I got to see the Rangers drop the banner.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, it was funny because we were sitting up where they were dropping the banner, right? And we watched them pull it down, and the banner ended up being lopsided and like had a crease in it, and everyone was like, fix the damn banner. We don't want it creased. We don't want it anything. We want it to be pretty. And it's like, they just dropped it. Leave them alone. They'll fix it next game. They'll fix it by tomorrow.
So wait, the whole game, the banner was creased and like folded over that they dropped?
Yeah, like it took them a minute to drop it. So you already knew it was going to be messed up right then. But then it finally dropped, and it was just like where it said champions, it said like, it didn't even, I want to say it took out like AMP.
Oh,
so
no.
like Chimians. Like, what the fuck is Chimians?
Go Rangers.
Way to kick off your season.
I mean, that's a good start.
I mean, beating the Cubs is always fun.
They did win the game, right?
In extras.
Against the Chicago Cubs, my hated Chicago Cubs, because
so
I
you're
am
welcome.
a White Sox fan. Yes, thank you. I'll take it. You also have a homegrown White Sox player, Marcus Semien, on your team, who I thoroughly am a fan of and thoroughly enjoy watching play.
All the more reason to be kind of a Rangers fan.
I mean, when it comes to me, you and Alex, I kind of root for everybody. It's hard for me to root for that stupid Yankees team that he liked. I realized it disappeared. That was funny.
It's so tough to root for the Yankees.
It's got to be easy to root for my team because we suck.
Exactly. I don't mind being a White Sox fan.
Yeah, a White Sox fan is like, you're a blue-collar, heartbroken human being because nothing has happened since 2005, and that was probably a fluke in itself. Anyway, so recapping, March Madness, man, we missed a lot.
We really did.
First day, Michigan State takes down Mississippi State. Here, I'm just going to run through this as fast as I can. If I have a upset or something, then I might stop for a minute. Duquesne upset BYU 71-67. That's a huge one. Creighton beats Akron. Arizona moves on. North Carolina moves on. Illinois moves on. Oregon beats South Carolina. Nevada goes down to Dayton. Texas beats Colorado State. Oakland, Michigan, not Oakland, California, upset the University of Kentucky 80-76. I'm not going to do all these scores. So where I'm going to go is where we were today. I'm not going to do this whole thing. It was very close. I was going to, and I stopped. And this is not going to work. Anyway, Thursday, the remaining teams, Sweet 16. Clemson takes down Arizona 77-72, which you and we were playing hockey just a few minutes ago, and you were like, wait, Arizona is out?
Yeah,
because you were gone.
Yeah, so, I really was hoping that Arizona would win. They were my pick to win the whole thing. Especially being a number 2 seed. I was pulling for them. I thought they really could go all the way, and you were saying that you saw them at the Pac-12.
I did. I worked the Pac-12 as a utility, and I saw them play a couple games, and they didn't look bad, but they didn't look good either. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Kid that's supposed to be the top-notch player for Arizona, Caleb Love, didn't really show up when it came tournament time, Pac-12 tournament or March Madness, the 64 team, 66 team, whatever you want to call it now, tournament.
So are these little mini tournaments like the things that you worked? Are they just like a precursor to March Madness?
In a way. So, the bubble teams, the last four in,
Yeah.
those are at-large bids, they're called, basically. And they go to teams like Northern Illinois or Seton Hall or UNLV, for instance. If a team had a decent season, they beat some good teams on the way to March Madness. Maybe they had a strong conference tournament. Then they're on that bubble. Now,
Okay.
what their bubble are teams like Oregon, who won the Pac-12 tournament, the last Pac-12 tournament here ever. They were not supposed to be in March Madness in the 64 team tournament, but because they won the Pac-12 tournament, they have an automatic bid. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because they have an automatic bid, that completely eliminates one of the last four that are going to get in.
Oh.
One of those at-large bids, gone, because the conference winner, who was Arizona, didn't win the Pac-12 tournament. Oregon did. So they both go, no matter what. So
So
that's
then
what
that just
burst the
leaves two
bubble of
more?
the yeah, that's what burst the bubble of like the Cinderella story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you have conference tournaments that are being won by teams that aren't supposed to make the 64 team March Madness tournament, then all of those Cinderella teams that are supposed to be at large bids, the mid majors, the Princetons, the North Texas, those teams, those are the ones that get boned out of that.
Oh.
It's really actually pretty harsh. UConn beat San Diego State by 30. Alabama upset North Carolina 89-87.
That one's actually really surprising because
I
you
can't
think
do the finger
Northern
thing because it's
Carolina?
weird. See where I'm at? Orange Crush, baby. Illinois takes down
Oh.
number 2 Iowa State 72-69 to reach the first Elite 8 in 20 years since 2005.
Since
2005 they played
2005?
Yep, 2005 they played North Carolina in the national championship game and lost. They had D Brown, Deron Williams, a couple other guys on Illinois, and there was some fantastic players on North Carolina. NC State upsets Marquette today, 67-58. They basically controlled that entire game. There was not one big guy on Marquette that can rebound worth a shit. And I understand why NC State is in this tournament, and I understand why they're so far now. Because they have a big man under the rim that can rebound like a motherfucker. Okay. And they have 3-point shooters, which is ridiculous. So he basically just gets their rebound off their missed three and kicks it back out for another three. They have 2 opportunities at about a 3-pointer every possession. Purdue beat Gonzaga tonight, 80-68. I had Gonzaga. I thought Gonzaga would pull the upset here.
Dude, Gonzaga is
Purdue,
such a basketball school that losing to
right.
Purdue is, I think losing to Purdue since what? Last time Purdue was good was back in like early 2000s.
No. They've
Yeah.
been good the last few years, and then they had this one. They had a one kid who was very good back in the 2000s. Who he got hurt every year though. I forgot what even happened to this kid.
I don't ever remember Purdue being like a good basketball school.
Oh,
I've
they
always
have
remembered.
been a good basketball team many years. I'm not lying to you, man. Trust me, I wouldn't lie to you.
I'm gonna have to pay
Especially
attention
because
more to them
Illinois is
then.
in the same conference. Like, I'm not going to tell you they're dog shit. They're a good team. 80-68. I mean, Gonzaga was, I don't want to say a Cinderella team because Gonzaga is the big fish in the little pond in their little conference that they have, right? They play with St. Mary's, Pepperdine, schools like that they can knock the living hell out of all the time. Suggestion though. Why doesn't Gonzaga join the Pac-12? Being that they're in Washington and all. I mean, we could still save the Pac-12. They have 3 years to do it. We'll see what happens.
I
80 to
really think
68.
they should join the Pac-12. That would
I
probably make
mean,
the Pac-12 a little more interesting.
for basketball only because
Oh,
Gonzaga, if they do have a football team, they're not D1, man.
I don't even know if they have a football team.
Yeah, I'm not
We would
sure
have to
either.
look into that.
Anyway, in the Gonzaga game, Zach Eddy for Purdue just completely went off with 27 points, going 10 from 15 from the field. So the big man down low for Purdue kind of does it for it. Number 1, Houston gets knocked off by Duke. Do you call
You
this an
knew that had
upset?
to happen.
Do you
Yeah,
call an upset? You calling it an upset?
I would, just because Houston's ranked number 1, but you got to realize that Duke is like known
It's
for
Duke.
basketball.
It's
It's
Duke.
Duke. Yeah.
So
You
how is it
can't
an upset?
you
That's what
can't
I'm
root
saying.
against Duke, but the fact that they were ranked 4th and beating a number 1 ranked seed, I would call that a ranking upset,
A
but I
ranking
wouldn't call
upset.
it
Okay, I'll give you that. But
I wouldn't call it a
coaching
major
wise,
upset.
Coach K handpicked this dude to come to be his successor at Duke. And he plays Coach K basketball, man. Like Duke is always going to be Duke. It's never going to change. They're always going to be good even when they don't have the talent because they play the right type of basketball. But they knocked
Absolutely.
off Houston, who's number 1, but they played a weak schedule, man. If you look at their schedule, they got beat by a couple teams who was like, what the fuck? How did you lose to them? Like it was pretty crazy. Tennessee took down Creighton 82-75. We are down to the
Elite
whew,
8.
Elite 8. Illinois versus UConn on Saturday, which I guess today, tomorrow.
Whenever you're
Clemson
watching
versus
this.
Alabama. So Illinois, UConn, 3 p.m. on TBS. UConn's favored by 8.5 on the spread. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna take UConn. I hate to burst your bubble, but
I
I
know,
think
I
UConn's
know.
gonna take them.
Dude, their margin of victory has been like plus 19, plus 20, plus 24 in this tournament. They're obviously the best offensive team in the country right now, even though Illinois technically has the best offensive stats in the country. But it's going to come down to who plays defense, in my opinion. So
I was just
it's
gonna
really
say, I think if Illinois can play some like stellar defense, then they might have a shot at beating UConn.
they might,
And
or
and
they
I
can
think
just
they're going
outscore
to.
them.
Right. But at the end of the day, I think UConn's just an
Too strong.
overall powerhouse.
Too strong. You know me, my heart says Illinois right here, so I'm going to go with Illinois. Especially the 8.5. 8.5 is a lot for an Elite 8 game. They made it there
Is
for a
it?
reason. They're both very good teams. 8.5 doesn't do it for me. Would you take the 8.5 points and still take UConn, or would you take UConn straight up?
Because I'm not too familiar with the minus 8.5 stuff, I would probably just take money line on UConn.
Okay, they would have to win by 9. UConn.
Oh no, I would just take straight.
You would take it straight.
Yeah.
So you would either take it straight or take Illinois plus 8.5.
Yes.
Okay, got you. Clemson and Alabama. The number 6 seed Clemson, number 4 Alabama. Alabama's is a 3.5 point favorite. About 6 o'clock start time on TBS tomorrow. Both teams come in with a record of 24-11. Clemson just knocked off Arizona. I'm going to say they're on a high right now. What?
Fuck Clemson.
Okay, so you're upset about this. So obviously,
I really wanted Arizona to win.
This is coming from a place where it's like, okay, because they knocked out your team, you're going to root for Alabama. So you're taking Alabama minus 3.5.
No, I'm gonna take Clemson. I think
You're going to take Clemson.
I think they are on a high right now, and I think they're gonna. I want to say this game is going to go into double overtime.
Double OT.
Yeah.
I say it might go into OT. I think Clemson might actually run away with it. They might win by 10 or more.
I don't know. Both holding a 24-11 record. It's going to be a very close game.
Yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. The 3.5 that they're giving to Alabama right now, I'm not sure why. It's not like it's a home game. It's a neutral site game, but whatever. On Sunday, you have Tennessee and Purdue, 27-8 versus 32-4 at 11:20 a.m. on CBS. Purdue is a 3.5-point favorite, and that game is the Midwest region. So I'm
gonna take Tennessee.
gonna go the opposite, just because I've watched Purdue beat the hell out of the Illini. I'm gonna go, but Illini they split, so the Illinois has won against Purdue this season. Zach Edey's too strong inside, man. It seems like you have to have a big man or someone who's willing to get rough to play with Purdue. I don't think Tennessee has that. I'm going Purdue.
I think Tennessee is going to be able to stop them with the defense.
Okay.
And then just,
but we'll see how the big men match up. That's going to be a big deal. If God, what's his name? Now I got to search. I'm sorry.
Oh no, dead air.
I do. Oh no, I do.
You do
Something
what?
like that. He's a team leader for Tennessee in rebounds. If he can play well, play rough against Zach Edey, then great. But not seeing it, to be honest with you. We'll see how it plays out. The 11th seed, North Carolina State, who burst my bubble a long time ago, against the number 4 seed Duke Blue Devils.
I think we're both in agreement of taking Duke.
Wow.
Just because it's Duke.
It's tough. This is tough.
Well, whether you take Duke or not, I'm taking Duke to beat NC State.
Yeah,
I think Duke is just.
I'm gonna go with you only because it's Duke. Like
that's the only
just
reason
don't see
to do it.
I like the big man inside Diamba or whatever his name is for NC State, but yeah, I'm not seeing it. Diarra, excuse me.
Diarra.
I'm not seeing it. Duke's just gonna run away with that, I'd say. So, well, there's your predictions for March Madness.
Woo!
Yay! Speaking
whether
of,
we're wrong or not, oh well. Fuck you.
Florida State that's not nice. The Florida State Seminoles of college basketball or football still do the chanting and all that bullshit that they do. And I guess people are getting pissed off about it now. Not that they haven't been offended and pissed off about it before. As you could see, the Cleveland Indians are now the Cleveland Guardians. What do you think about this?
Washington Redskins are now the Washington football team. Washington Commanders.
Okay, the Redskins might have been a racist name. I'm not quite sure. I didn't do my research on it, but from what I hear, it's pretty bad. What do you think about the Indian thing and like changing your name? There are teams that haven't changed their name, refuse to change their name, and then there's teams that just kind of are like, whatever, we're gonna go be the Washington football team. And what does that do to the fan base? Like, are you going to back your new Cleveland Guardians or, Washington football team? Like, would that deter you? Like, if they change the name of the Chicago fucking Bears, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. I truly believe that if you support the team that you're ride or die with, like the Cleveland Indians, they made a movie about it, for God's sake. But like if your name is in a movie and then all of a sudden a grip of years later you're like, no, we're kind of offended by the Cleveland Indians, we're going to change it to the Guardians. It's like, if you're showing respect to the Indian tribe that they're trying to represent, then that's one thing. But if you're just trying to be the Redskins because you saw it in like a book or something and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to change my name, we're going to be the Washington Redskins because this is funny, then that's where you draw the line. But if you're the Chiefs, if you're the Blackhawks, if you're the Indians, if you're the Seminoles, you shouldn't have to change your name because you're showing respect to all these great
hold
tribes.
On a second. The Indians are just calling themselves the Indians, and they have a big red-faced guy with one feather and a goofy smile. Like, I think that might be considered off a bit, and I
That
understand
one,
why they did the Guardians change.
then yes, I understand why they
The
changed the
Redskins
Guardians.
completely is tomahawking someone. So let's just cut that out right there. That's a fucked up name, and it the Commanders aren't any better, trust me.
Not
But
at all.
maybe they should have stayed with the Washington football team. It seemed more original at the point. But teams like the Blackhawks have publicly said out in media or letters to the media, memos to the media, whatever, that we're honoring the Blackhawk tribe of Illinois. Look at the Fighting Illini. I mean, we have a chief as our mascot there, so it's not like we're being derogatory. We're honoring Indian tribes that are in Illinois.
I think North Dakota State changed their name as well because they were
They're Fighting
the
Sioux.
Fighting Sioux.
Come on, they
They're either
changed their
still
name.
they're either still the Fighting Sioux, just without the Indian, or they're a completely new team.
They're probably still the Fighting Sioux without the logo.
I think that might be right.
I think that's probably correct. See, that's ridiculous to me. Yeah, I mean, the Indian Sioux tribe is like, you know who that is. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
not like
right.
it's some random. You know what I mean? The Blackhawk tribe is actually a random. You know what I mean? Like,
Is it?
it makes no sense. It makes no sense, man. People are too fucking offended these days with this bullshit. But it affects the fan base, man. It affects the fucking fan base
It
because
does.
you have all this memorabilia, jerseys, autographs on whatever, or fucking memories in general of the Redskins and Joe Theismann and let's say the fucking Braves, even though they haven't changed their name, with Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, and Tom Glavine, and the Seminoles of their great days with Bobby Bowden as coach.
And
Who
Jameis
changed their name?
Winston.
The Indians. Yes, the Indians. Who could ever not watch Major League
Right.
or Major
Right.
League 2? Who could ever not watch
Major
that?
League 2 I could
Willie Mays
pass up
Hayes.
on.
Come on, man.
I could pass up on Major League 2. But Major League for sure, with it's such a, you see the logo and it's just iconic now.
It's iconic.
Because you see it and you're like, oh, I remember seeing that in a movie. You see all of you're not going to see the Cleveland Guardians logo in a movie anytime soon.
No. Nobody's going to pick that team to make a movie about. I'm sorry. Like, it was funny because it was the Indians. They were a lower level team, and they were like, all right, we're going to try to move them to wherever. And the storyline was awesome. And Rachel Phelps was a bitch. I love it. The whole thing was awesome. But changing teams' names that have been around for tons of decades, I don't even know what the wording correctly I should say, is fucking stupid to me. It is stupid. The only one that I agree with is the Redskins.
I would agree
The
with
Indians could have changed their logo and been more respectful, just like the Atlanta Braves. Not that complicated.
Even if the Cleveland Indians did what the Bears did, and they just went from the Indian head and just did the C. You know how the Bears went from the C to the bear head?
Yeah, they did the opposite.
Yeah, the Indians could have kept the Cleveland Indians and just done away with the Indian logo and just kept the C, and it would have been A-okay.
You think that simple change without the guy with the red face and the goofy smile would have done it?
I think so. I think that's what more people were offended about.
Offended from everything.
I really do. I think that's what more people were offended about was the logo over the name. I understand that some people were offended by the name as well, but I think you can't put all of your eggs into your basket and change both at the same time.
We call Indians Native Americans. We call them Indians.
Right.
You don't call a black man an African American, do you? You call him black.
Yes.
He's a black man. It doesn't make any sense to me when it comes to the Indian thing. Opening day. You want to talk that for a sec?
Let's do it.
I know your Texas Rangers won in extra innings, which is awesome. The White Sox lost 1-0 to the Detroit Tigers, and they were one
Ooh.
of only 2 teams besides the future Las Vegas Athletics who got shut out on opening day.
Oh,
The
that's
Guardians shut out
rough.
the Athletics 8-0. The Reds 8-2 over the Nationals. Blue Jays 8-2 over the Rays. Dodgers take down the Cardinals 7-1. Padres 6-4 over the Giants. Pirates in extra innings in 12 actually 6-5 over the Marlins. Twins over the Royals 4-1. Yankees take down the Astros after going down 4-0 5-4. 11-3 Orioles over the lowly Angels, and 2 games that were postponed until today: the Braves and the Phillies, the Brewers and the Mets.
Did you see
What do you?
the Brewers and Mets game today? Things got super chippy.
Well, yes, I did see Rhys Hoskins slid into Jeff McNeil at second base trying to stop a double play, overslid the bag, and definitely took out Jeff McNeil.
Do you think that was
Um,
intentional?
Yes, absolutely. That's gamesmanship. That's baseball. Jeff McNeil has no reason to get so fucking upset over something that is part of baseball. That's called breaking up a double play. It's opening day. People are hyped up and they want to play baseball and they want to win baseball games. They just started. Okay. Like, now's the time that you're ramped up. You're going to go through a downslope somewhere in June, July when, those are the dog days. But right now, people are amped up, and he was trying to break up a double play. If Jeff McNeil has that big of a fucking problem with the game of baseball, maybe he should go put on a tutu and choose ballet.
Tell me how you
Sorry,
really feel.
Jeff McNeil is a pussy.
All right.
That's how I really feel.
That's a great way to segue that.
I mean, you said,
Um,
tell me how you really feel.
I know. I thank
Dude,
you.
you're breaking up a double play. It's part of the game.
I
He
agree.
didn't
And
miss
there's
the
no
bag.
reason to
He didn't go
get mad.
right. There's no reason to get mad at him. He didn't miss the bag by like 4 feet here. He overslid the bag to take out McNeil's feet so he couldn't make the double play. You know what
It's almost
McNeil was
like
pissed off
the
about?
Chase Utley play.
Wait, hold on. You know what McNeil was pissed off about?
Hmm.
Is that he never caught the ball to begin with. So
What?
after he dropped, he dropped the fucking ball. He never had a chance to turn that double play. The ball popped out of his glove and then he got slid into, and I think he turned into straight LeBron James, Neymar baby mode and started pointing at dude, calling it his fault, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where it became a problem. I mean,
Absolutely
when they took out
ridiculous.
catcher collisions at a home plate, you really fucked up baseball. I
When did they
mean,
get rid of that? That was a
it was
while
about
ago,
5
wasn't it?
years ago when the CTE thing started coming out,
Oh, okay. I
or
remember
maybe
that.
a little longer. Maybe I'm older than I think, but excuse me. Either way, um, you're pussifying a lot of these sports this way, and I think this is a good topic that we can hold off here because I love our shows to be around 30 minutes for people just to jump in and get what they can out of it and then jump out. We really shouldn't be on for an hour or 2 hours talking about bullshit. Nobody wants to sit there for 2 hours listening to bullshit, especially for me and you. We're idiots.
Mm,
I mean,
fair
thank you
enough.
for whoever watched this fucking show. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for real. No, thank you, because
Seriously
without
though,
you, we won't have a show.
watching. And our QR code is up in the corner there for our Instagram page. Please go ahead and give us a follow on that. Our YouTube channel, give us a follow on that. We are on my Facebook page, but you can look up Rude Boys Radio Podcast on Facebook. Give us a like and follow on that.
Eventually, we'll be live over there.
We'll be live over there eventually. It just takes a little time, apparently, according to the Facebook world. Any last notes before we go?
Diamondbacks winning 16-1 over the Rockies was absolutely insane to me.
The problem,
That's a
you know
lot
what
of hits.
that's a lot.
14 hits in the third inning.
I was gonna say, you know what the thing is for me? It was 16-1 in the third inning. So the
Yeah.
rest of that game must have fucking sucked.
Yeah. I
So they watched all that hitting for 3 innings and then nothing for the
Dude,
next
after the
6.
5th inning, I probably would have gone home.
I
I've
mean,
seen all I needed to. I'm going home.
I loved that reminds me of a story, and it involves you.
It
You were
does?
in Cincinnati and you were going to see the Reds play
Oh yeah.
my team. And I believe somewhere along the lines in the second inning or some shit, we were already up by like 15 runs
Yeah, it was
or
like
something.
11-1. Dude,
It
I
was
got up
11
and I
to
went
1
and
in the
stood in
second
line
inning.
for ice cream, and I was like, yeah, I'm not watching the rest of this game. I got my little ice cream helmet, and I was like, I looked up at the TV. It was the 5th inning. I was like, yeah, this ain't changing. I'm gonna go wander around the stadium for a bit. Saw some pretty cool things. Didn't see some good baseball, but it was fun.
You saw good baseball. It just wasn't the team you wanted to see it out of.
True. I was really hoping the White Sox
You
would
saw it
lose.
out of
Just
my team. And I don't even see that ever.
not
I
at
didn't
all.
see
But
it
it was funny because
opening
it was
day.
like the day before I went to Cincinnati, you were in Chicago watching the White Sox lose at home, and
I
then I get to
was.
see them win it
And
on
then
the
they
road.
won. Yeah, son of a bitch. They lost to the Twins when I was there with my brother.
I
Yeah, that was a
probably
lot
have
of
seen
fun.
the White Sox win more times than you have.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Not in my lifetime growing up, buddy. I've definitely been to a full season. Like, not, I'm not saying like 81 games. I'm talking a full season of baseball in my life of White
Oh,
Sox games, like 162.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I am too. But I was there the year that they won the World Series in 2005. So I was very excited. I got to see some games. I took a vacation with a buddy of mine who's from LA, was a Dodgers fan. We went down there. He wore all Dodger blue and got a hot dog thrown at him. It was
Love it.
awesome. I love it. The Dodgers got swept by the White Sox that year, and we went on to win the World Series. So I'll take what I can take because as a White Sox fan, that's about all I'm going to get. Maybe
Hell
the
yeah.
next 15, 20 years, we might be good again one day.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
How long did it take you guys?
What year is it?
Exactly. The last time you were there, you had a cokehead manager. That's why you lost.
Yes. But we don't anymore, and now we have a championship.
I'm just kidding. He's not a cokehead publicly. But no, I have
Behind
much
closed doors.
respect for Ron Washington, to be honest with you. He was part of the Moneyball team in Oakland.
No kidding.
Yeah, if you actually it's really funny. If you watch the movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt, um when they go to talk to Scott Hatterberg, which is played by Chris Pratt in the movie,
Okay.
he goes, I want you to play first base. And he goes, but I've only ever played catcher. And he goes, Scott, it's not that hard. And he goes, tell him Wash, like Washington. And then the guy goes,
Oh, okay.
it's incredibly hard. So, yeah, that's Ron
I'm gonna have to
Washington.
watch
He
that.
started out as an assistant coach with the Oakland Athletics.
Oh, I
So,
did not know that. That is awesome.
yeah, and he's still around coaching now. I don't know where he's at. Maybe Washington, maybe wherever. I don't know. I don't follow Ron Washington. I follow certain teams, certain players, and he's not one of them. What are you
Respect.
gonna do?
Not a lot.
Tony Gaglione.
Ethan Gettemeyer.
And this is Corona. And he's got something in a red solo cup. I don't believe it's
Coors.
what he said because he had to put in a fucking solo cup. I mean, what kind of crack are you smoking over there?
The good kind.
Yeah, uh-huh.